Chief of War. That's right, folks. This is the new series to come out on Apple TV. It is produced, it is written by, and it stars Jason Momoa, a very interesting figure in Hollywood. I genuinely like him. I've never been against anything he's worked on. He's usually the most interesting part of the movies he's a part of. So he's taking his clout and he's going over to Apple and he's saying, I want to make a series about my people. You think I'd be allowed to do that? And they go, why not? We're like the last studio taking some chances on these types of stories. So what do you want to do? I want to tell the story of Kaiana or Kaiana. I don't know. I'm sorry. We're dealing with names that are complicated. But Kaiana is this very famous political figure through the history of Hawaii. He kind of united a lot of the clans at the time and built it up to be this bigger deal. It's hard to explain without spoiling everything, but he's this really important figure in the history of Hawaii, like integrating that world into like some modern ideas and having it be like this very prosperous community while still maintaining its rich history. So if we like told the story of like the Hawaiian Islands at war with each other and how they have to unite against a common threat, that's the white man. I mean, that sounds awesome. That is a great idea. That is a story we don't see a lot of. If we ever see it, have we had anything at this scale done before? Like, we've had things like Shogun, which is showing a specific part of history as well, but this is kind of Shogun-y about, like, Polynesian culture and Hawaiian culture, and like, when do you ever see that? You rarely ever see that. This is not a big thing that, like, we depict culturally on this scale, so for Momoa to be like, I can get this made. I want to tell this story. We're going to have so much of the dialogue in native Hawaiian language. We're going to have every Polynesia actor you can think of appear in this. We're going to do it. We're going to tell this story, and we're going to do it right. I mean, this is about as good as it's going to get. I don't think this show is perfect by any means. It does fall into a lot of the familiar traps that we see from a limited series on streaming. Weird effects choices, bad nighttime lighting, some interesting script choices that don't really work. But the good outweighs the bad in this thing. I've spent so much time watching this just being engrossed in the story because I haven't seen this story. Obsessed with the production design because it is immaculate and looks stunning. And just impressed with everything I'm seeing. It's so incredibly cool. There are sequences where people are hunting sharks while they're underwater. There are sequences where people are like sledding down the side of a mountain into a big river. There's a sequence of a volcano erupting, and I'm like, this is just happening in this culture. We just go underwater to hunt sharks. We just slide down the side of a mountain. It's insane. It's just so cool to see that stuff in this way, because any other time we'd see this, it'd just be like a bigger deal. But this is just the culture here. This is like an extreme game they play. This is just how they hunt and harvest and do stuff like that. It's so cool and interesting. And the moment where I start to kind of just feel myself receding a little bit is when they introduce the white people, which it's part of the story. It has to be. Jason Momoa's character interacts with that culture. He kind of brings it back to the islands in a way to like get people doing certain stuff as the war is breaking out between the clans. I get that. I understand the need for that. But just spending like the first couple episodes just so much in the momentum of this culture, and we're seeing the warring factions, who's doing what, the political intrigue, whose daughter has to marry who so they can keep the game going this way, but she can't actually carry children. And that's what this is all about. It's so compelling. And then it's just basic trade routes and like white people on an island. Like, we can colonize this, we can teach them stuff. It just falls into the traps. It tries to slowly do the thing. It doesn't do it in like a big extreme way, but you know, the basic conceit of Shogun is this white guy gets kidnapped and he's like joins the culture. There's some of that a little bit where like someone of a different culture is now part of the Hawaiian Islands and he's integrating and doing stuff and people are learning English all over the place. It's kind of there, not overly. Glad it's more understated because I'm here for these really cool people fighting each other by throwing spears or just whipping each other with shit. The action's insane. And yes, there is some gunfire, and it feels very interesting and kind of gets lost in the shuffle. When it's the stuff that's not the gunfire, that action is sick. Just fire all around us, people throwing spears and rocks and destroying each other. It looks insane. And that goes to the thing I was saying about the production design. We're filming on real locations, for the most part. Huge sets, huge cast of supporting characters, and just extras. There are so many people all around that are part of this culture. They're just making it look great. You love to see that. You love to see that. It's so spectacular. There are like hundreds of people on screen at some points. So many people all over the place, and it looks pretty good. There's some moments where it's, not perfect. But for the most part, I'm just like, yeah, look at these costumes. So intricate, so well detailed. Everyone looks badass. All of these people look badass. Everyone looks tough and angry, but fun at the same time. This is the perfect role for Jason Momoa, a guy who can play campy, and he's okay at it, but when he needs to get serious, and he's done a couple of these shows now, he's had a couple previous shows at Apple where he's led, like Frontier was another one. This is my favorite of them because he clearly is so passionate about what he's doing here, and he just works. He can play like the tough guy going into like the white man's world, and he's like very intimidating and scary, but even when he goes back to Hawaii, and he's on the island, and he's going to these different clans, he looks like the most scary guy in every room. And all these guys look intimidating and crazy and awesome. They all look amazing. There are so many actors who I'm not familiar with who just get moments to shine in this show. Just like these guys who are of Polynesian descent, of Hawaiian descent, who clearly don't get opportunities like this all the time, So you want to make the most of that. And that's half this cast. The names you do know, like Tamura Morrison or Cliff Curtis or Moses Goods, they're so strong. Like, they are these powerhouses in this show that are showing you how they broke through into the mainstream. And they're incredible. And they're so interesting. But all these other supporting characters, all the female characters, have agency, have nuance. There are so many worlds being built around them that they have to play with and understand. It is so intricate and well handled, and I don't think it reaches some of the heights as like a Shogun in terms of the visual language behind this camera, but it's hitting the beats. The script is strong, not perfect. There's a couple of interesting moments. I feel like it could, slow things down and don't add anything, but that's okay. It's just so nice to live in this world, and just to see this world depicted in a way that it may never get to be depicted again. It's really intricate. The fight scenes are insane. We do some classic slow motion as intense things are happening, but it's very gorgeous. It is so special to see that, and I'm impressed with everybody. I think everyone's just playing to their strengths here. This is a culture that knows the significance of what they're doing here. This is like one of the most important stories to tell about this culture and these people. We're all aware of that. We're all aware of what we're doing here. This is Jason Momoa saying, I have one shot to get this right, and he nails that. He knows the weight of that, and it works well. It is a limited series on Apple, so they have money to spend, and they're going to spend it. It is very classic, which is okay, formulaic. He's going to go to these different leaders and these different feuding tribes, and he's going to have to fight his way to the top, and he gets there, and then he's trying to get everyone aligned in some things. And it's very classic in that way. It's not breaking the mold, but sometimes a random thing happens and you're just like, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to see this type of action. I wasn't expecting this type of storyline to progress. And that's really cool. And the fact that a majority of this series, I would say more than 70%, is in the Hawaiian language, is so rare and makes it feel extra special. Very, very happy we're reaching a point where general audiences are accepting of something in a different language for a mainstream audience to watch. That makes me feel good. And this is a show that is just badass, and it looks tough, and it's so cool. Everyone just looks awesome. All these people are tough and sexy and rugged. I love them to no end. I'm always happy when Cliff Curtis shows up because he's playing a very specific character that he's so good at. Like guy vying for power that seems like a little schmarmy guy. Oh, it's great. This show is really fun. Perfect by no means, but solid entertainment that feels like it matters. It feels like it's saying something that matters, and sometimes it's all you can do. And that's what this show does really well. That's Chief of War. Kahiana, he's a very important historical figure. Who knew? I didn't. I'm not too versed in this culture, so that's what you love to see. Based on real events. As much as it can be, because it's pretty stylized too. So, Chief of War, I am going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.